Joining us now for World Brief and the review of some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Adefemi Akinsanya. Good morning, Adefemi.
Good morning, Dr. Rubin. Welcome back. Good morning, Vimbai. Good morning, Rufai.
Adefemi, I'm late to the party.
What's
Congratulations on your award.
Oh,
She's
thank you.
an award-winning journalist. So I was
Thank
late
you.
to the party. It was earlier in the week,
Thank you so much, Vimbai.
You know the implications.
Today
is Friday.
Today is Friday.
Today is
Why the
Friday.
implications?
Oh yeah.
Problem. We still have time to the end of the show.
Implications.
Implication.
Let me out to the task.
Out to the task.
As always. Thank you, my friend.
International.
People are very unserious. Thank you all, though. Thank you so much.
Correspondent. Not all you local ones.
Thank you.
Chief.
My friends, let me tell you guys what's happening around the world, I beg. Thank you so much. All righty. Well, let us start with this number. $50 million. That's the increased reward amount the United States has offered for the arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Now, American Attorney General Pam Bondi announced the new reward over allegations of Maduro's involvement in drug trafficking and links to criminal organizations, including an alleged link to the notorious Sinaloa cartel of Mexico. Let's take a listen to what Pam Bondi had to say.
Enough to drive him. Department of Justice and State Department are announcing a historic $50 million reward for information leading to the arrest of Nicolas Maduro. Maduro uses foreign terrorist organizations like TDA, Sinaloa, and Cartel of the Suns to bring deadly drugs and violence into our country. To date, the DEA has seized 30 tons of cocaine linked to Maduro and his associates, with nearly 7 tons linked to Maduro himself, which represents a primary source of income for the deadly cartels based in Venezuela and Mexico. Cocaine is often laced with fentanyl, resulting in the loss and destruction of countless American lives.
All right, well, the reward was first set at $15 million back in 2020 when U.S. prosecutors charged Maduro with drug trafficking. It was then increased to $25 million in January of 2025, and that was as Maduro was sworn in for a third term, alongside new sanctions on top of officials, until the hike to $50 million, which is what we're seeing now. Now, in response, the Venezuelan Foreign Minister, Iván Gil, said the move was pathetic and the most ridiculous smokescreen he'd ever seen. Now, Nicolas Maduro is leader of the United Socialist Party and succeeded Hugo Chavez, who you see on the screen there, in 2013. And over the last 12 years, he has been repeatedly accused of repressing opposition groups and silencing dissent in Venezuela with the use of violence. He overcame protests after last year's contested election and has retained his tight grip on power. To the Middle East now, where Israel's Security Cabinet has approved a plan from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to occupy Gaza City. Now, the IDF, which is Israel's defense forces, will now prepare for the takeover of Gaza, according to a statement from the Prime Minister's office. Now, there had been mass protests across Israel against the move, and families of the hostages still in Gaza call the expansion of the war a death sentence. Now, some historical background here. We know Israel had occupied Gaza following the 1967 war, but it did withdraw its forces 38 years later in 2005. Since this war with Hamas began in October 2023, Israel has recaptured huger parts of Gaza. Now, lest we forget, a huge man-made humanitarian crisis created by Israel continues to ravage the Palestinian people. More than 62,000 Palestinians have been killed since October 7, 2023, and just over 1,000 people have been killed in Israel over the same period. Those are your two stories. Love to hear your thoughts until we go over to papers. We have a lot of papers, so we have to keep our thoughts brief.
Okay, so real quickly, let's play a game this morning. I played in America and other parts of the world. It's called the game of Pickle Ball.
Okay.
Pickle Ball, I see you, right? Now is the time of Nicolas Maduro. Listen to me. I'm not saying Nicolas Maduro is right. I abhor what he had done to Venezuela. I abhor his links to drugs. But a Trump government has the temerity to put a 50 million wager on him? The same Trump that was found guilty on 34 counts of business falsification. He's a convicted felon. It's just that he's not going to go to jail for it, but he's a convicted felon. I don't know, maybe he has to pardon himself at some point. Is it America? The same America that knew that Manuel Noriega was doing a lot of drug deal, but because it was a CIA asset for so many years, they left him. But when it was time for them to pick him up in this game of Pickle Ball, they came, Pickle Ball, I see you. And they flushed out Noriega. So I am not saying that Nicolas Maduro is right. He should be picked up if he had things to do with drug and fentanyl that affected Americans. But I'm just playing this game of Pickle Ball that shows the hypocrisy of the world, because it's only fair and balanced to do. The same Trump that has distracted everybody's attention from the Epstein file. Now they are doing this razzmatazz where they're calling the Clinton family and a couple of other people, but themselves on that committee. Just like the peekaboo going on in Israel. Netanyahu with his very right-wing government is now saying that they're going to do the big one. Go in there, decimate another land. America is watching them. America definitely is aiding them with weapons. And nobody can stop them. After killing 60,000, I don't know, Netanyahu has seen so much blood, but it's not enough. So he wants to send troops in there to kill people even more. And America that says that the bastion of world civility is out there, and they're looking at him and they're urging him on. The other day when they asked President Trump, he said he can do what he wants.
Yes.
So we have gotten to a world where people can kill people, they can do what they want. But the same America, if their interest is involved, they come in. Let's keep playing this game of Pickle Ball and see where it's going to lead the world.
Thank you.
Pickle Ball, I see you.
What's interesting is the interconnection between the stories, because Nicolas Maduro has been extremely vocal about his dissent towards Benjamin Netanyahu and towards Israel. So some people are saying, could that be a factor in this? However, putting everything into context, so the bounty was first placed under Donald Trump in 2020 as 15 million. Then Joe Biden increased it to 25 million. And now it has been increased again to 50 million. Now, for context, 25 million was the bounty they had put on Osama bin Laden's head. So they're saying that capturing this man is more valuable than capturing somebody like Osama bin Laden. Of course, we know that, I think it was in his inauguration speech that Donald Trump said that he considers and he declares the cartels, the drug cartels, terrorist organizations. So I suppose it's in line with that. But what I found quite peculiar, about the situation is that in the same vein, but underreported, is that Donald Trump in the last 24 hours also approved Chevron's resumption of activities in Venezuela. Now, because of the sanctions that America had imposed on Venezuela, the oil production, obviously by companies like Chevron, American companies, were barred from doing business in Venezuela. So it's interesting that within the same 24 to 48 hour period, you have him saying that the Venezuelan president is the most wanted, 50 million on his head. Yes. However, I'm going to reduce the sanctions a little bit so that Chevron can start moving in and start pumping out oil. So some people are saying that, could this be some sort of a play? What is the play? What is he trying to achieve? The contract with Chevron says that no oil revenue is supposed to be remitted to the Maduro government. But is that even possible? Because we know that Venezuela is a communist state. So is it possible that oil revenue is not going to benefit the government? So it's a very strange play, and I wonder what he's trying to achieve with this.
Okay, what's the background? There's no love lost between the United States and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Attorney General Pam Bondi, he was saying yesterday that it's the leader of a narcotics ring, drug traffickers in that axis in Latin America. In other words, that he's a criminal. And now the State Department has placed a bounty on him. Now, they didn't start now. In 2020, President Trump, as president at that time, placed a bounty of $50 million. When Biden got there, he increased it to $25 million, the same amount as was placed on Osama bin Laden. Now they have increased it to $50 million. And the State Department is saying that anybody that is in a position to provide information will take this reward. However, government officials and their family members are not part of it. And Pam Bondi also provided, a telephone number hotline that you can contact. Meanwhile, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Venezuela has responded to say that, look, this is just a desperate move. It makes no sense, that the United States is just trying to cover up the Epstein case, and that Venezuela is a sovereign country that will not accept this. So that's for background. Now, what is the analysis? Now, the USA, they have what they call the Narcotics Rewards Program, the NRP, under which they say the United States has the right to go into other countries where there are issues that are, affecting American security interests. The question to ask in international law, who gives America this power to be the policeman of the world? Because it's the same situation that we're seeing now in Venezuela that we see also in Brazil with regard to the issue of Jair Bolsonaro. But however, this is not the first time. In 1990, the US abducted and imprisoned till he died in 1983. Okay, they released him a few weeks before he died. Manuel Noriega of Panama. So the whole argument is that, this man is facilitating, drugs into the U.S. with the cartel of the Sons and with also the Cariola group in Mexico. But can they prove it? But the major issue, of course, is that the election that was held last year, July 28, they are saying that Maduro did not win, and that there is no result. So this is a major issue in international law. How do you intervene and dictate to another sovereign state? Quickly, as for Israel, Israel controls aerial access to Gaza, to the Gaza Strip.
Yes.
Israel controls communications in Gaza Strip. In other words, what I'm saying is that Gaza is already under occupation. If the Israelis are saying, they want to do full occupation, which full occupation do they want to do again? In fact, the whole of Gaza has been stripped
This was Gaza before
naked. So that is the problem here. But it is the Security Cabinet that took a decision yesterday. The full cabinet is to take a decision on Sunday. But the major issue is about the hostages, the position of the far right, and more importantly in the equation, the position of the United States. President Trump has said, well, it is up to Israel to decide. The same Trump who was saying in February that he was going to create a Riviera of the East. I think what you should encourage is, one, the cause of peace, and two, the role of the international community, particularly the United Nations, worrying about the tragic consequences that Israel's continued aggression in violation of international law is likely to lead to.
Thank you, Dr. Rubin. Thank you all for your wonderful submissions, as always. Let's move on to the papers. Let's take a look at the front page of This Day. Now, This Day this morning reports on, of course, this value jet saga as Aviation Minister Festus Keyamo instructs the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, which has asked the Attorney General of the Federation and the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, to prosecute Wasiu Ayinde, the popular Fuji musician known as Kwam1, to also place him on a no-fly blacklist for 6 months for his conduct at the domestic terminal of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. That's according to NCAA's Director of Public Affairs, Michael Achimogu, who made this information public during a press conference on Thursday. Now, the leadership on Friday does also lead with the same story. It goes on to picture the 4 involved parties, including the 2 pilots who have had their licenses suspended with immediate effect for breaching aviation protocol by starting departure without advance clearance protocol. Staying with the aviation industry, the New Telegraph leads with a major disruption in Nigeria's aviation sector on the way as 4 key workers' unions have declared a total withdrawal of services beginning Monday, August 11th, over the government's failure to implement a long-standing salary agreement. The strike action is primarily targeted at the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NAMA, whose workers, the unions say, have been shortchanged despite a salary review agreement reached over 8 months ago. Now, economists Bismarck Rwani, has also chimed in, quoted in the paper, saying that states are obsessed really with starting airlines and building airports, but only 4 are viable. Now, the darkest side of aviation is illustrated on the front page of The Punch this morning, and that's as 6 people were killed in a small plane crash in the Kenyan capital of Nairobi. This is just days, of course, after that helicopter crash of politicians over in Ghana. Now, The Punch also leads with the crisis following WAEC. Following glitches in grades, candidates have been asked to recheck for new results after 48 hours. The paper also reports that 29 governors spent 80 billion naira on travels in 6 months. The Vanguard leads with the federal government's warning that heavy flooding will hit 198 local governments across 31 states. That leaves 832 communities at risk and threatens the disruption of more than 100 major transport routes. The Daily Trust leads with protests in Zamfara State by nursing mothers and elderly women from the Jimrawa village over the deadly bandit attacks that have killed more than 100 people in villages including Madar, Ruwanbore and Fain Baza. And there's also news of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria announcing the 2026 cost for Hajj pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia at 8.5 million naira per person. The Guardian leads with an eye-opening deep dive into what it calls toxic braids. That's as cancer and fertility risk trail Nigeria's so-called obsession with synthetic hair. Nigeria imported $429 million worth of synthetic braiding hair in 2023, making Nigeria the world's second largest importer of hair globally, while the hair, wig and extension market as a whole is $7.5 billion in 2024. Now, the Daily Sun has the good news that the Super Falcons head coach, Justine Maduro, and the team's goalkeeper, Chiamaka Nnadozie, are among the nominees for the 2025 Ballon d'Or. And just very quickly to the United Kingdom, if we take a look at page 4 of the UK Guardian, for those in Nigeria, anywhere else, planning to study at UK universities, the British government has proposed a levy on international student fees, which could cost universities in England more than £600 million a year if it goes ahead. A study has found that the 6% surcharge on tuition fees paid by overseas students floated in the Home Office recent immigration white paper would particularly hit leading universities such as UCL, the University College London, Imperial College London, and the University of Manchester, for example. Those are your papers.
Now, wow, America, they do their own. UK is also. Anyway, Dr. Bati just finished a set of graduations soon in the UK, so you have escaped.
For a little while.
There are some going
There's some going in there.
I have younger children.
Oh, you have younger children
I'm still going to the UK.
Dr. Bati, now, wow, it is well. God bless you for all you do for them. But real quickly, we just have to say this real quickly. And I think Bismarck Rwani raises a strong point. See, the other day I was asking a representative of Enugu State here, the business plan and the business projection. It was for a reason. This idea of build airport or airline, then where are we going? When people are suffering the need for the basic things. Okay, till today, can you tell me, check through all the airlines, the commercial airlines in Nigeria, in Lagos to Ebonyi flights. Because I remember when they launched that Ebonyi airport with a lot of fanfare. Can you check Lagos to Anambra flights? How frequent are they? Or Lagos to Ebonyi? Okay. I think Ebonyi. Can you help me check? Let's just make a quick research.
I'll take a look.
Just one sentence for me on synthetic braids, synthetic hair causing cancer and so forth. The science is overwhelming, and I just hope that we can pay attention and we can start to embrace our natural hair, because God gave it to us that way for a reason.
And it's cheaper.
Okay,
And it's
tongue in cheek. You are wearing natural hair, so I understand where you are coming from. She's wearing synthetic braid.
No, this is not synthetic.
What is this one?
This is human hair. It just belongs to another human before it belongs to her, but it's human.
I believe, is this all of your hair? Do you have braiding hair included?
Yes, I have a little bit of
braiding hair included.
Oh,
So we're all
okay.
here.
But I just think that this is about identity. There is a Kemi Bidnock in every African woman.
Please, Dr. Rubin.
Let us all be proud of our natural African hair and not look for synthetic
always.
hair
Thank
or
you.
human hair. Okay, ladies?
You look
Do we get
fantastic.
the
So do you.
message?
Andrew.
So that at least the bill of the men will be smaller.
Listen, I heard all by myself. I know I didn't know he's paying for it all by herself.
Okay.
Thank you so much
Okay.
for today.